How's it going, man?
Your team?
Yeah, yeah, we're good, man.
Hey, what's going on, man? I'm just calling a
Y-
couple minutes early.
that's good, man. We are joined with Max Bronston of Lexington R&B Child. Great having you on the show, man. Thanks for being on.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Appreciate having me.
So I first heard of Honeychild through a fellow local artist, very known name in the city of Lexington, Divine Kawama. Um, Shout out to him. Yeah, I've done shows with him in the past. I have not seen y'all perform before, but I definitely am looking forward to doing so in the future because I heard a lot about you guys and gals. And when it comes to a Honey Child show, y'all like to party and have fun. So,
Absolutely, absolutely.
um, so we're definitely gonna get into Honey Child for sure. Uh, and we start off with this. How did the band Honey Child got started?
Well, the band started out. I've been performing with a few bands here in Lexington, Kentucky. Old school subject band, a few other R&B bands out there. But I started with Super Factor. Shout out to Bobby Harris, Larry Van Dyke, Ken Smith, people of that nature. And me and my wife actually went to Cincinnati one time. And all the bands normally are playing old school like Motown and things of that nature. Just your standard top 40 and everything. But me and my wife went up to Cincinnati, and we saw a band up there that was playing neo soul. And I love neo soul. I'm a '90s guy kind of guy, and that's when neo soul first came out. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go back home, Lexington, Kentucky, and that's what I want. I want that right there. So I had the subject matter, so I hooked up with a kid named Devontae Dixon. That's actually my nephew. He plays keys. And from there on, he just introduced me to a bunch of young folks. And, we put it together. We started rehearsing. Next thing you know, we had a band. So, we decided, we wanted to try to steer clear of what everybody else was playing. In the end, you're going to be playing a few of the songs. You can't dodge a bunch of songs. But, we play our own flavor of music. We put our own touch on some things. And we're currently working on some original material that we actually are starting to perform in some of our shows. So, that's how I basically got started, in a nutshell. Just, I saw something I liked, and I said, I'm going to emulate that, and I'm going to try to put our own Lexington, because Lexington's got a pool of talent that's just ridiculous. And, I was lucky enough to get on that and, make it happen.
So I've been a fan of local music for quite some time now, couple of years. I've seen people perform covers. I've seen people do original music as well. And I've seen, but never heard of a band like Honey Child as it pertains to the style, the type of music that y'all play. Cause it seems like other bands they play a variety of everything. Top 40 music, old school music. Thanks to Honey Child, y'all play a variety of music yourselves, but y'all more of an R&B type of band. That's the flow that y'all go with, and I love me some R&B. I love me some soul. I love me some jazz. I guess I'm a hybrid as it pertains to being a music fan. And Honey Child is definitely a band that you go to a show, you hear this, you hear the tunes, and you're gonna be dancing. You're gonna be jamming. You're gonna be having a good time. And that's what we need considering what's going on in this world these days, especially this country. Something to get our minds. So as a fan of music, local music in general, thank you, Max, for you and Honey Child, for all you guys and girls do to perform because there's a lot going on in this world. And every now and then we need something to get our minds off, and local music is a testament to that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, and I'm going to say this,
Hmm.
probably about I want to say close to probably like 5 or 6 years ago. It's definitely some brothers here. Shout out and ancestors. Slew Promotions first and foremost. Um, and people like a Divine Karama. It's a lot of positive entity that a lot of people don't know about.
Hmm.
So, I've often told people, Sloop, at least from Sloop Promotions, I told Divine, I said, listen, y'all got to stick to your guns because they're trying to do things, you know, to actually start a culture that's not the normal culture. Because, I mean, I'm not going to put any names out there, man, but, a lot of people don't like going out because of certain things, the nature of the parties, you know what I'm saying, or the nightlife here in Central Kentucky. It's just got a bad rap right now. But I've told people, I said, listen, you got to stick to your guns, do what you do, and I promise you, people will bite on to that. And when I started Honeychild, I had that in mind. I said maybe we don't have to, play all the turn up music. We can play some D'Angelo, we can play some Erykah Badu, we can play some Jill Scott. We can get in here and smooth it out, groove it out, and people can still dance, and they'll see something different. And the live entertainment scene. A lot of people around here, especially, have really never seen live bands, outside of maybe going to the jazz festival, the Macy's Jazz Festival in Cincinnati and places like that. So, I had it in mind, like, let's just try something totally different, totally different. And I got with Slew from Slew Promotions, and I was like, listen, I need your help push this thing I'm trying to do. Help me push this. And, she got behind us. And here we are. We're doing a lot of shows this week, actually, next week on March 11th. On that Saturday, we're doing a Swahili Ball out at the Marriott. If you haven't got a ticket, you probably need to, be diligent on trying to get one because I know it sells out every time. But, we're trying, we're getting a lot of calls from our culture to do our events. And that's what I've always wanted. I'm like, you know what, I want to play. I don't have to play golf books, just stuff. I'll sing a big variety of music myself, being a like cover band. I probably got a 200-song library, and I can run off to you. But I like doing our music for our people whenever I can. So, this is definitely an outlet for me and the members of the band to get out here and do what we do and try to stick with the culture. We try to stay away from vulgarity as best we can. We do play some up-to-date music. But we try to, stick away and at least do the clean versions because you don't have to cuss to entertain people. You don't have to have the vulgarity to entertain people, man. You can just get up there and do your thing. They'll see the musicianship. They'll see the talent. And that's what we try to promote on Honeychild.
So considering 200 songs on the playlist, like when you prepare for a show, like y'all determine the songs that y'all get to play? Is it based on the band collectively? Is it based on the promotions, or like how do y'all decide the songs that's gonna get played?
I'm going to say at any given time, we're probably prepared to 60 songs out of I think we have like 120 songs on the song list we have. I'm going to say we're ready to play, anywhere from, 70 to 80 songs. But we'll go to the gig and we'll have a set list. Played the 80s and 90s affair a few weeks ago. That's just given right there. That's a given. Okay, it's an 80s, 90s affair. We're gonna play everything 80s and 90s. About that out, it shouldn't be an issue. But sometimes you get to a place. We play church events, and you got to just play off of that crowd. You got to look at who's in the crowd, look at the age group, and say, okay, we need to do this. And if they get up and dance to this song, they're gonna dance to these other 10. And then you just go from there on. So I mean, it takes some time, some experience involved in there, just really knowing what you think people are gonna like. And it's definitely about 4 or 5 songs out there that if you are an African American, you are gonna get up and dance to, and we know probably 4 out of those 5. So it's definitely an art to it.
That's awesome. And with music and everything, it's a form of expression. Whether you perform a cover, whether you perform an original, it's just the feeling, it's the vibe, it's the energy, and like I love when a band like Honeychild looks at a song that they love and do their own feel to it, do their version, you wouldn't necessarily hear a version. When y'all rehearse these songs in particular, like how long does it take for y'all to determine like the direction that y'all want to go with a song that you all collectively love and say, I see how the original is done. Let's go this route. Like how long does it take for y'all to determine the direction y'all go with the songs that y'all do for covering?
So you saying for covers or originals?
Covers.
Okay, for covers, saying it again,
Mm-hmm.
it matters what the venue is, and it matters what the crowd is, and we generally going to know at least a month ahead what the show is going to be about.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, let's cover that era that we, like I said, that we know the age group that's going to be there, the nationality. It's not always a African American crowd that we go with either. We got to know what those top 40 songs are also. So, we get together at rehearsal, and, somebody will say, I got a friend at work, they love this song. They love it to death. So we need to do that. And, we got different age groups in the band, but it's just like, what you need to do. People on the streets come to you and say, hey, that's a good song, you guys should do it. Pretty much you got to do it. And that's the nature of the game with covers. You're not going to always get to do exactly what you want. When it comes to the originals, rehearsal sometimes, somebody will go off on a tangent on a cover song, and it'll start sounding a little different. And we'll be like, okay, let's add this to that. Let's add this, and let's think of this subject matter. And bam, next thing you know, because collectively you got, 8 different minds in there, you come up with something brand new. And that's what Honeychild also, we're trying to come up with a new sound. We're trying to do what's on the radio. We're trying to come up with something totally good, totally fresh, and, a sound for Lexington. Everywhere has their sound. It has that Prince, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis sound. You go to Detroit right now, Kanye West is just, he's really, not Detroit, but Chicago, rather. New York has his flavor. West Coast got his flavor. It's time for this Midwest area to get their own flavor. We got a few artists that come out of here, like shout out to Black Coffee. Shout outs to, who else is out there? Rob Jackson. That brother made it out of here. We got a few people, man. Kiki Wyatt, everybody knows she's from Louisville, and players especially. Shout out to Smokey Diggle, man. And we're trying to establish a sound, an original sound. And if we can do that, hopefully take us far. We like cover band. We're trying to be your favorite band, period. We don't want, we doing these covers now, but later on down the line, we went out on the road and come back out to say, hey, that's our band, but they something. They talented. They're a real band, and that's what we want to be.
As for the originals, what's it like getting a chance to perform those songs and people are getting, vibing off of them? And original songs that you already have, is this going to lead into an EP release, full-length album, or y'all just like not in a rush to do so as of right now, just focusing on performing these songs and just get people's reaction to it right now?
Well, absolutely that the purpose is to actually make an EP or actually make a whole album. And we've only been performing like one song off the record because we kind of want it to be fresh. When we drop the record, you're going to hear the one single we've been doing, which is called Honeychild, self-entitled. After that, we want everybody to get, have a fresh, unadulterated, just like, okay, let's see what these cats are talking about. We know that song they've been doing. What are they really about? And that's what the album's going to be. The meat of the album's going to be a new sound, a fresh new sound, something you never heard before. And it's going to be band-oriented, too. It's not going to be all digital. We're going to have live drums on some of the songs. And, we got very talented musicians. Matter of fact, shout-outs to Sean Bullis, Tim Higgins, Pinky Liberace, a.k.a. Juwan Clay. Shout-out to Rashana Campbell and Nietzsche Banks. She just joined the band. My partner, Kerry Johnson, has been with us, from jump. He helps us do some writing. Shout out to Jonathan Martin, our drummer. Shout out to Keenan Helms, who came out of nowhere. He's also another talented keyboard player. And, man, we got a unit, man, that's real good. Everybody gets along in the band. Everybody is spiritually grounded in it. They all at the different churches. and that helps. They all come up in the church, and it just, it helps us with our sound, man. If we don't have a heavy gospel sound, but they're musically talented because of their church. Yeah, we're trying to definitely come with something new, and we're trying to come out with an album, and we're trying to impress.
Definitely looking forward to hearing that. The music for sure, and just I definitely I love the 1990s, man. Like that, those were the days. Those were just feel good music back then, and just that's something like that's missing in today's music. Like when I hear the radio, it's like people are too busy looking for the trend and to follow it, and rather than try to come up with their own or whatever. And
Right.
I guess that becomes more challenging in today's music compared to what it used to be. But I guess if you heard one version, you most likely going to hear more versions of it. And it's hard to stand
Mhm.
out. It's hard to stand out in the music industry more than ever before. So, I mean, I don't know.
Absolutely.
So,
And and I tell cats that all the time. It's a lot of local, talent here, man. And it's some good artists here. But I do mention to them, if they let me hear the original material, I definitely just tell them. I say, listen, if it sounds like it's something on the radio right now, you might as well go ahead and dump it, and make sure you sound like nothing on the radio, because you don't want, especially being that we're all local here. We don't have Bad Boy Records, even though that's an old label. Boy, that's showing my age. Um, we don't have a record label, pitted right here in Central Kentucky, that's going to get us on the radio tomorrow. We got a couple of outlets where you can get your music heard, but, it's hard for us to even have a station to even play your radios on here in Lexington. And, that's not on the main way airwaves. We all have to go YouTube and, try to go on the internet. And it's hard to get people to know who you are on the internet if you're unknown, without that backing. So, yeah, that's definitely the thing to do, is just listen to the radio and try not to sound like it. You want to be the next thing. You don't want to be fitting in with what's current, because you're going to be a year late getting there. And then if you're a year late, you might as well give it up. So we are going to try our hardest to make sure what you hear from us is not going to be like anything you've heard before.
very, very true. For more info on Honeychild, you can check out their official website at www.honeychild.com. That's honeychildband.com. They are also on Facebook. Give them a like, and you can learn more about the band and upcoming shows. Now, I know you mentioned the show that you guys have next week, but what are some other shows down the road that y'all have coming up?
After, let's say, March 11th, we have the Swahili Ball. March 31st and April 1st, we'll be at O'Neill. We have several dates there. That's generally where a lot, people just want to come. You just want to come see the band. We'll be at O'Neill's. Just check their calendar too. You can look at slooppromotions.com. We'll have some of the dates up there. We do a lot of promotions. They keep it moving. They're keeping it, nice and adult, grown and sexy, and that's what we're trying to do. We definitely trying to stick with the grown and sexy crowd when we can, but we're also trying to cater to a younger crowd too, because the younger people need to know what good music is also. And I got younger people in the band, so yeah, definitely check us out. The next time you want to come see us is March 31st and April 1st at O'Neill's. It's on Richmond Road in Lexington.
I love O'Neill's. Great food, great meals, everything about it. Shout out to O'Neill's. They treat a brother real good. I just gonna say that on the
Right.
record. And Max, it was great chatting with you. Thank you so much for your time. Shout out to the rest of Honeychild, and congrats with you and the band. And hopefully down the road I'll actually get to see y'all perform in person. I definitely want to do that one day for sure.
All right, brother, man. It's good talking to you, Kenny.